Thank you guys so much for joining today for another conversation, cast conversations. We're just learning. We're building the plane while we're flying, y'all. So I'm so excited to be here today again with Racquel as we talk about the behind the scenes around being a TV producer. I know for myself, this was not what I envisioned my life being as a TV producer at age 54. But God is good. He has a sense of humor and he will get you out of your comfort zone to do things that you can't even imagine that you would be doing. So, before we get into this conversation with Raquel, I want to introduce myself because I'm on her platform. People like, who is this lady? Okay. I'm LaChelle Adkins, also known as America's Supermom. And I'm the mother of 15 children. I still have 11 of them at home. And I call myself a media strategist. I am all about helping women, especially, monetize their gifts and talents so that they can create a global impact in the world through all forms of media. And one of my favorite forms of media is live streaming TV. So I'm excited to be here today. And today we are going to have a conversation with Raquel. She is on the couch today. And so I get to ask her all the questions. So I'm excited for her to give me the floor, so to speak. So, first, I want to say thank you so much, Raquel, for getting this started. You were actually the visionary behind this whole concept of cast conversation. So, I think I just want to definitely highlight you for that.
Thank
Um,
you.
and I just love your energy. I mean, you're always just full of laughter and just a lot of fun. I mean, you just really put it out there and really help people to be disarmed, right?
Thank
Help them feel
you.
comfortable around you. And I think that's an important trait to have.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm the oldest, so I learned how to diffuse a
Yes.
lot of things being the firstborn of a teen mom, okay? Like you learn how to okay, this is a good situation. Let's breathe through it, guys.
It's true. But I think that's a good trait to have, especially, we talk about TV and a lot of people, they're afraid to hit record. They have lots of knowledge, but they feel like, oh, I don't know how to say it, what to say, so what tips would you give people that are watching around, just having that type of control to be able to help people to feel disarmed and comfortable around being in front of the camera.
Oh, that's such a great question. Okay, so for you guys that may not know me, even though I've been on LaChelle's platform a plethora of times, I'm your girl Racquel Maye-David, and I am the CEO of making sure that you are a beast in these streets. And I really, really mean that. Whether, of course, my home was credit, right? But
Mhm.
now I am into the visibility space and making sure that our Black community has the exposure that they need when it comes to advertisement and placement and visibility, right? Like, because that matters. Our
Mhm.
representation really matters. However, I'm so glad y'all here. You said, what is the tip? So I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm going to tell you that for a long time, the reason why I did not do recordings was because I was like, who really wants to hear what I have to say? Number
Mhm.
one. And number two was, what if I get it wrong? Right? Like what if I say something wrong? What if I give wrong advice, right?
Mhm.
Um and what shift the narrative for me, and that really caused, and I'm going to be very honest, like that even transcend when I decided to do the TV show, right? Like a lot of it was like, I want everything to be luxurious and pristine. Y'all, I got 4 kids and they don't know how to act. Okay, like my kids are just like y'all kids. Like they don't know how to act. Okay, I have a hunter who lives in his own world. I got a husband who sometimes he don't know how to act either. He still put a ring on it. I still love him. Okay, but sometimes he drives me crazy. Right? Heck, I drive myself crazy. All the people in my head. Right? So there are people out there that are just like me, right? And are
Mhm.
trying to get it right. And I just think that one of the biggest hindrance we have is that we're going to wait for it to get right. And I saw
Mhm.
this lady, her name is Candice. She's heavy on Instagram. I know her from Instagram, and I resonate with Candice because she's a Caribbean that lives in like London, and like my family,
Mm.
from the islands, a lot of Caribbean people, they go to Canada or they go to the UK if they don't come to the States, right?
Mhm.
So if y'all don't know, I'm gonna try and find her on this app here. It's Candice. I think it's Birthright, Brathwaite. She did a
Mm.
post the other day. And when she did the post the other day, it really, really, truly resonated with me as an individual because she went to the graveyard and she said, there's so many rich dreams, there's so many
Mm.
riches that are here, right? And
Mhm.
I have a saying to like my family members and people who get to know me is that I'd rather live out loud and fail forward than die not doing what I'm passionate about or
Mm.
what I think is influential or what I think is going to change lives.
Mhm.
I'm more afraid of waking up the next year in the same position I was the last year than I'm afraid of failure. So what if I failed? So what if I didn't make it? Like I
Mhm.
remember going through and having my divorce and staying in that relationship because I was so like, I don't want everyone to think that I'm a failure and I couldn't have a successful marriage. Not understanding that staying in a dysfunctional situation for both me and
Mhm.
him was going to be worse than figuring out what this looks like on the other side of this, right?
Mhm.
So for me, the tip that I would give anyone is understand that the people who are looking for the wisdom, the guidance, an example are waiting on you to be present and be here. And if you don't do it, you're doing them a disservice and you're not allowing God to use you for the reason why you're here. So
Love that.
that's how I look at
Yeah, and you brought up so many things. I'm over here taking notes, girl.
it.
Because it's hard. I'm practicing active listening. That's one of the things that I have really grown with. And, being able to hear a person rather than focusing on what you want to respond.
Mhm,
It's been a game changer to help me grow. But the whole thing about the advice, afraid you're going to give people the wrong advice. I know I've struggled with that because, I'm thinking, this worked for me, but I don't know if it's going to work for them.
mhm,
And one transformation that I did was just simply realizing that I was sharing my story, my journey. And that took a lot of pressure off to where it's like, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what I did that worked. And
mhm,
that took a lot of my pressure to where, I didn't feel like I had to have all the answers, that it had to be perfect. I was simply just sharing my story, which is one of the ways that I've helped a lot of people be a part of my programming, whether on a show or podcast, because I just simply tell them, hey, you just telling me your story. What happened with you? So I think the things that you mentioned are very important. So talk to us around. I have a lot of different stuff I could be going through, but we're gonna try to keep it short. But visibility. So, like, you mentioned that you have your children, you
mhm.
had a previous marriage. How do you know what's enough to put out there when it comes to building your brand? How do you
Ooh.
how do you know what should be out there and what shouldn't?
So I'm gonna tell y'all a little secret. Shout out to Nicole. Hey, Nicole in the chat. Nicole
Hey,
said hi,
Nicole.
LaChelle. Hey,
Yeah,
girl.
she's a author with me. We're best-selling authors
Yay.
together. So,
Okay,
hey,
I
Nicole.
listen. I need all the links to all the books. Okay, we need it everywhere because I like sharing my people. Listen, if you connected to me, I'm sharing your stuff. Okay, don't be friends with me if you don't want to be recognized because that's what we gonna do. We gonna put it up
Mhm.
there. You mess around. If I had a billboard, all my friends would be on the billboard all the time. Okay.
Amen. That's the way to
Um.
do it.
So to answer your question, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm at a different generation. So number one, I just realized that I'm closer to 50 than I am to 40 right now. Like I really posted that on my social media today. Like, y'all, I remember being 24 and I feel like it was just yesterday.
It's
Like,
true. It's true.
but it wasn't. It was 20 years ago. Okay.
I know.
But you know, the point is to live, right? The point is to be living, to live, right? So, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I came from like the generation where, because I remember when like we had our first TV and it was in black and white, and I remember it going
Mhm.
to color, and I remember us
Mhm.
having the turn knob TVs, right? And then I
Mhm.
remember us having the big donkey cell phones, and then we have the little
Mhm.
stuff now. So I've been a part of a generation of evolution
Mhm.
to be in a space where I tell people share what you're comfortable hearing be repeated, right?
Mhm.
If
Mhm.
you are not comfortable with sharing what having someone else share your story and tell it with their level of experience and because again, I'm going to tell you my story, and based on your level of experience and exposure, you might grant me grace or you might riddle me with bullets, right?
Mhm.
So you
Mhm.
have to get to a space where if you share your story, you no longer have um you're no longer tied to how someone else is going to react to what you're
Mm.
sharing. And if you haven't gotten to that space, then don't tap into that, right? Like
Mm.
hold that to the vest until you are healed to a place where if someone regurgitates your story and they crucify you, you're still
Mhm.
okay because you made the right choices for you versus feeling like, oh snap, I shouldn't have let that out, right? Like I shouldn't have let that
Mhm.
out. And I say that like even there are parts of my story that my children don't know, right? And it has
Mhm.
a lot to do with you haven't had enough experience and exposure that you won't judge me on this, right? And when
Mhm.
you get a little bit of salt and pepper on your life, then you can get, you get what I'm saying, access to
Yeah.
this. And not that I don't want you to know who I am, and not that I don't want you to feel, you get what I'm saying, feel what's
Mhm.
going on. But I think that we often, I grew up in a world where all publicity was good publicity. Like I don't remember if y'all
Mhm.
remember them Star magazines and stuff where they'd
Yeah.
be like, this person's doing drugs. And then the next thing you know, they're in rehab and then they got a new movie and stuff like that. So a part of me is still very much a very small part. It's still very
Mhm.
much all publicity is good publicity. But the question that I've always said to myself is if a negative story got out, how am I able to tell the truth about
Mhm.
it? And how am I able to show that I'm not who I was at that time? And if
Mm.
and the reality is you never know how someone's going to receive, right? Like
Mhm.
your story. Because if I say I dated a married man, right? You may
Mhm.
not know the context in which I dated that married man, but if you were a woman who's been cheated by your husband, you're going to then automatically shut down. You get what I'm saying? And you may
Mhm.
not be in a place where you can hear, yes, I was dating a married man, but this was the circumstances, right?
Right.
Or I'm holding accountability that this is what I did. Like
Mhm.
you have to get into a space with yourself where on the flip side of whatever you're putting out there, you don't care how that narrative is spun. And if you're
Yeah.
not there, then you don't put that part out.
I love that because it's really true. When I got out of the hospital for the third time after my 13-year
Mhm.
journey with depression, I went to a vision board party and the lady said, well, I just want to tell everybody, she was the keynote speaker, that I used to be a prostitute. So everybody's looking around. She was like, I wasn't on a street corner. She
Mhm.
said, but I was a single parent, had to do what I had to do to pay my bills. And she
Mhm.
said, but I could say that without conviction because I know I'm not that person anymore.
Mhm.
And what you're saying is so true. When you know that you are not living whatever it is that you've shared. And I think a lot of us struggle. This is how we can't move forward because we're still living in that story, right?
Mhm.
We have not moved on, even though we are
We
older,
the time has passed.
we got
Yes.
kids. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, life is happening and we're still
And you
stuck,
still holding yourself hostage that you did something back in 1983.
and
Listen,
that nobody knows about a lot of times but you. I mean, it's in your head. You see what I'm saying?
let me
I
tell
mean,
you
I'm just speaking to
something.
myself, girl. I mean, I'm glad I grown from that.
Let me tell you something. I remember, and this is so funny. So again, I told you, I was born from a teenage mom. My mom was 18 when she had me. She was pregnant at 17.
Mhm.
And I remember like being 20. I think I had Caleb. I had Khalil at 24 and I had Caleb at 25. My grandmother passed away. I was probably like 27, 28
Mm-hmm.
years old, right? And I go to my grandmother's funeral and my mom is there and my mom gets pissed off. Like when I say she's livid, and I
Mm-hmm.
have no idea what done crawled up into her underpants, okay? And I'm sitting there like trying to process. Now, mind you, me and my mom were not really close at this time. So I was
Mm-hmm.
kind of like, whatever. So my mom had never met my kids. So my grandmother is passing away, and this is the first time she's meeting her grandkids, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my mom storms off and she starts yelling about me lying when I was 8. Right. And I remember thinking in that moment that here's an opportunity for her to be present with who I am today and who her grandchildren are. And
Mm-hmm.
instead, she is still back at 89, right?
Right.
And I'm sitting here like, girl, you know how much life I done lived? Like,
You
do you
got
know
some
how
whole
much life
kids.
you done lived from then till now? And you talking
Yeah.
about the one time I ate all the oxtail from out the pot and lied about it, girl. If you don't, now that I know how much oxtail costs, I understand what my mom was saying. But to your point, I did not process or understand because I had evolved, I had moved on, I had become a
Mm-hmm.
mom, right? So when she
Mm-hmm.
flipped out about that, like in that moment, like she wasn't even resonating that she has a grown woman in front
Mm-hmm.
of her. She was still holding on to an experience of when I was a child. And as a parent now, I have to process the same way because like I have to process better. So like now when I
Mm-hmm.
get around my kids, I have to remember that they're not the little people that I brought home, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
they're functional adults because I'm about to have a 21-year-old, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
how am I processing that? So it's interesting to say that you're not at that address. A lot of people still remember you living at
It's true.
2718 Kingsbridge, right? Like
Yeah.
they don't see you as someone who has moved past that story. And
Mm-hmm.
you have to be fortified in who you are today to be able to dodge that experience that they're having and not get pulled back, because I think that's what
Mm-hmm.
happens to a lot of us is that
Mm-hmm.
when that old them gets brought up, then they
Yeah.
tap back into that. But I'm healed from that, girl. I'm sorry that you're
Amen.
not.
I
But
love it. I love that. Now, and so this brings me to the next question because, this is something that kind of hinders us being in business, right?
Mhm,
Like myself, I didn't think that I would be a TV producer,
mhm,
and it's something that I really enjoy. I don't
mhm.
mind, picking up a microphone, running my mouth. I just think it's the best thing because
Come on,
I
somebody, because you
feel
got good
like
stuff to say though.
but I feel like I can control the narrative, right?
Right.
So often people then told me to be quiet or I've silenced myself
Right.
thinking nobody wants to hear what I have to say. Now I feel like, I just can't be quiet.
Can be quiet. You need to know what
But
I gotta say. Yes.
so when you're dealing with, this past that might be in your mind, what advice would you give people? Because a lot of people, it stops them from starting a business, entering a different relationship,
Mhm.
collaborating, investing in something that they've never done before. What advice would you give them for that?
If you've done the work, allow yourself to see the results of the work that you've
Mm,
done. I think a lot of times we don't. So, like, I think of life kind of. I know that they say school is like structured stuff like that, but I think of life the same way I think of when I was going to school and I took a test. Right? You go to
mhm,
social studies, they teach you about the past, they teach you about the present, whatever the case may be, and then they give you a test, and that test says, "This is what we've taught you in this unit. What did you process? What did you comprehend? How are you retaining that information?" Life is very much the same. Um, you don't know if you've overcome if you don't test yourself to see if you're successful in that area, right?
mhm,
I'm a talker. I know I'm a talker. I now have the perfect career as a talker, right? I also know that I like people. I'm a giver, right? I like
Mm-hmm.
to hear people's stories to connect and elevate. So the only way for you to know if you have moved on or have gotten over that experience is for you to try again. Life is not about being stagnant, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you and a lot of times I think another thing that we don't do is we don't check ourselves as individuals. Like sometimes the problem is you picked wrong, right? And
Mm-hmm.
now so when it comes to relationships, I I picked wrong.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't, they may not have been the only problem. The problem could have been the version of who I was at the time, right? Said that this
Right.
was a good fit for me. And now I know who I am now. I've done the work on myself now. And now I need to go ahead and pick differently, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I have to give myself the opportunity to try that out and see what that looks like. And
Love
and
that.
then process, right? So I think a lot of things that we need to do is stop. For us to stop living in the past, we have to see where we are today, and have we learned, have we pivoted, what are we going to do differently, and be aware of the red flags. Like a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times we go through things and it gives us a what do you call it, a scale, like a measurement to say,
Mm-hmm.
okay, this doesn't feel right. When it doesn't feel right, acknowledge that. Let's sit in
Mm-hmm.
that and figure out, well, what is it not feeling right? Is it my insecurity? Is it what they said? Is this reminiscent of what I experienced in the past? Like, take your time. Journaling is really important, and not everyone likes to write it. Even if you have a voice journal or you vlog, you
Mm-hmm.
get what I'm saying? Sit in that feeling and dissect it. Don't dismiss it, because the reason why you went through that situation before was because you dismissed it and you kept going
That's
instead of
true.
figuring out what the problem is.
Love that. That was good. So,
Thank you.
we could be talking all day, but I want to get into TV,
Yes.
so you were a guest, you've got your own show, and you are really opening up your platform for other people that are doing great things in their communities.
Yes.
So, talk to us, and you're very visible. I mean, it's like I opened up my
Am I?
Instagram and at least, one or two, scrolls down, there's
Really? I'm
content,
there?
yeah,
You
around
guys see
you
that?
with a clip of your show or highlighting some education on a Facebook Live around, credit and just financial literacy. So,
Mhm.
um, how did TV get into that? And just, what advice would you give people? Because some people think, oh, you know what, I got a Facebook Live, I'm doing my part. But why go into TV and streaming?
Oh, that's such a good Okay, so I'm gonna tell you that I fell into it. So shout out to my homegirl Laquita Motley. I call her
Hey.
Dr. Laquita Motley. Okay. Quasha for the streets. Nah.
Yeah.
Um, um, I went to go be on her show, right? To support a
Mhm.
friend. And then wonderful Miss Sandra came up and was like, why are you not on TV? And I was like, because ain't nobody offered me a spot. That was not the real answer. The real answer is I didn't know nothing about TV, but
Right.
in my mind, it sounded a lot more, like I know what I'm doing. I didn't,
Mhm.
y'all. Okay. But I think um what really shifted um me going into TV and taking the opportunity to get on the streaming platforms. You are right, Nicole. Thank you. Thank you. Come on,
Mhm.
Nicole. Snaps.
Mhm.
What shifted me to go into TV was we are literally fighting for a spot on Facebook, Instagram, right? Like we're
Mhm.
fighting for a spot. And with TV, the impressions that you're able to get, especially being on the Roku, on the Apple TV, on the Amazon, on Comcast, on us, it's so flex or is it so flix? Because I say it wrong. Which
So
one is it?
flicks,
There
girl.
we go. So
We
flex.
in Africa.
We Africa girl, okay, and Brazil and whatnot. But getting the ability to not to say that we're not competing, but I
Mhm.
have a wider audience to go to, and the
Mhm.
noise is a little bit different when you're
Mhm.
going on streaming TV, right? I feel like the phone, being on YouTube and Facebook, it keeps me where I'm competing on different levels. And I think we have to understand the tiers of it, right? So when we're
Mhm.
looking at marketing our business, there are people that's going to buy, but I also know quantifiably lower ticket tiers are coming in on Facebook, right? I have to upsell
Mhm.
you on Instagram. I have to upsell you in certain mediums. LinkedIn, wonderful, because LinkedIn business people are really trying to put their money where their mouth is. But a
Mhm.
lot of people are going to TV, and the next level is, of course, cinema, right? So
Right.
why, if I have the ability to come on here and literally make sure that my brand, my messaging, my community knows that I'm out here for them, why would I not take that opportunity and bring people along with it? Because when I heard that I can get over 50,000 impressions on a commercial that's being sent out, and that's just one commercial for let's say a week run. Imagine what
Mhm.
that same commercial can get me on a 30-day run, right?
Right.
And then getting what I'm trying to get in and out, right?
Mhm.
On that movement. So to me, I think I think that that was a next tier. Yeah, LinkedIn is the bomb.com. Come on, Nicole.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
think that there are cheers to it, right? And when you're going through the process of it all, it was a no-brainer for me to get my brand in front of things, because not everyone can afford the budget for a Jennifer Hudson, but I can still get you
Mhm.
the same visibility, right?
Mhm.
With being out and about and people knowing who you are, what you do, and why you're deciding to do it.
I love that, and I mean, for me, the transformation in my life is that, I feel like I don't have to work as hard. Right.
Mm,
I think a lot of people are starting to, the TV is doing a lot of the heavy lifting for me.
yes.
And, I can disappear. I've been disappearing all the beginning of 2025, I feel like,
Really?
yes, I am going out of town this weekend, right? My husband is officiating a funeral. And I'll be gone for a few days. And I feel like because I have invested in my brand and the things that matter, I think putting my money where it's important. I'm not one, not against anybody who does ads and stuff like that, but I just have never done it. I'm more organic because I just gravitate to relationships. Now,
Mhm.
a lot of that could be because I was an only child and,
Aw.
I loved
So wait, you were
interacting
an
with people.
only child and you
Only
decided to
child.
have 15 children. The
Yeah, I didn't
AKA
like
people,
being
please
alone.
have at least 2 children. Have 2 children so that this don't happen in your life. This is why she got
Exactly.
15 kids. Now here I was about to tell my mom who told her to have more kids. I
Right.
was so glad she did, because I stopped at 4. Okay, so you were the only child and decided I'm going to populate. I understand. I
Exactly.
respect it. Mhm.
Exactly. So I think, when you think about, when your business, you grow into your business, right?
Mhm.
You grow into your brand. I know when I started off, I didn't know what I was doing in terms of even my brand, right?
Mhm.
But I feel like it was like an outfit that I got that was too big and I just had to grow into it,
Mhm.
over time. But I think sometimes the same thing with live streaming. It's like, oh my gosh, I have this major platform, that has so much potential. What am I going to do with it? But
Right.
now it's like, certain things, it's like, you know what? I'm on TV. I don't have to do that. Like I hardly ever get on Facebook like I used to, because it's like, I am going traveling to Dallas. I'm filming regular TV. I got to get my makeup done and, get into this, time where I am filming a lot of shows. And it's like, I'm not even thinking about doing a Facebook Live, in terms of now the lives where you're doing them quick and you're in
Yeah.
the moment. Yes. But it's like I am building up for a specific time, and it's like that is going to speak for me. I don't have to go doing all this stuff. I don't know. So what's your experience been like?
So number one, I want to say I'm thankful to hear you say that, because again, I'm entering this journey of channel ownership, right? And
Mhm.
like TV show ownership. And I'm like, I'm 44 next week, right? Like, girl,
Mhm.
why are you jumping into something like that you're gonna have to work harder for it? So to hear
Yeah.
that it if you build it right, right,
Mhm.
um you don't have to be exhausted. Like that
Yes.
does make me feel a lot better about the transition. Um, but I think that it's interesting just like hearing you say that because it brings a soothing, you get what I'm saying, like to a
Mhm.
person who has like this big vision and it's like, oh, I got to do all these things, I got to do all these things. But the reality is like Facebook had a streaming platform. Like I don't know if everyone remember the Red Table Talk, right? Like
Mhm.
they were building up the momentum to get the exposure. But again, the dollars were going to the big names, not people that
Mhm.
were making massive improvement, right? Or people that
Mhm.
were changing the game. And now those big names are not here, right?
Mhm.
Because again, things get out, people don't want to put dollars behind you, people don't necessarily want to support you because now you look a little, you look a little spots on you. But if you start out and you're already being very transparent, you're already being open and honest,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying,
Mhm.
I think it makes it a lot easier. I don't have a problem, to your point, I'm cool with like live streaming for a purpose. Like, okay, I'm going into the
Mhm.
studio, let me go ahead and show you guys going into the studio. But I think that everything is a tool. So for me, I look at the Facebook, the Instagrams, the YouTubes as social proof as to what I'm
Mhm.
doing. And then when I'm on Zandra TV, when I'm on Hulu, when I'm on Roku, when I'm on these platforms, that's you seeing my work. That's you seeing,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
me get up and do the Beyonce thing that I be doing in these streets. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like that's how I look at it. So I think that if we use each platform to connect you back to the end goal, the big goal, which is the TV network, it makes it a lot easier. But people need to know, like, and trust you. And that's what you're
Mhm.
using the YouTubes and the Instagram. But American Supermom, like, people already know you. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
you've worked hard. When I see you on Clubhouse, friend, if y'all ain't on Clubhouse, y'all are missing. I left Clubhouse. Okay. I love Clubhouse so much that when I went on it the other day, I was like, how you heart everybody hearting and I want to heart too. Like I like what he's saying. I want to
It's
drop 100. But like seeing the fact that you've used all of those platforms to
Mhm.
create social proof and you are genuinely yourself on each one of these platforms. Like
Mhm.
there's not a different LaChelle. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
From one platform to the next platform. So organically, when people come into your space, they're still getting the LaChelle. So now when
Mhm.
you bring other people in, they already know what they're getting. They're getting flavor, they're getting sauce, they're getting intel,
Mhm.
they're getting good soil for them to take and plant stuff into to help them elevate. And I think that that's
Mm.
epic.
That is so sweet. Thank you. And I'm so glad you were there because you really were dropping some gems. So I'm excited. And actually, I got on Clubhouse because of Zandra TV Network. So
Did you?
Zandra just had a call for the producers at the time. And she said, now I'm not saying everybody has to do it, but if you do it, we're going to have these rooms and we're recruiting people to teach them about live streaming.
Okay.
And that's how I got on, and been on ever since because I've created a community of 2,000 members, and I'm like, I just can't leave them. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's like,
No, but when you have
people.
your people, you can't.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I'm working on because let me be clear. I think
Hmm.
that I know the difference that I have followers. Okay, so
Hmm.
okay, so I call followers looky loo,
Okay.
right? They look
Hmm.
at your stuff, they may heart, they may comment from time to time. But when you build a community of people
Yeah.
who are engaged, active, you can't leave that. You have to
Yeah.
bring them, you get what I'm saying, where
Hmm.
you're going to. And that's one of the things that I'm learning because I think that I'm very transparent, but for some reason I don't have that, like the community in which you're talking about. I have followers, I have looky loos, I have
Hmm.
let's see what's going on with Racquel. And you know that what I love is like when people slide into my inbox and be like, girl, I always knew. You ain't know nothing. You Go sit down. You was always so cute. I knew I was cute, but you treated me ugly. Just go sit down over there in the corner. Sure, you know, but I think that there's a difference between having followers and then
Yeah.
actually having supporters that when you drop things,
Mhm.
it really comes to light. Because I'm gonna tell you, like right now, I'm putting together an event in May. It's called Charge Up Your Life. It's with myself and it's actually my girlfriend Kyra. Okay, I'm helping my
Okay.
girlfriend Kyra Dodd.
Okay.
So if y'all watch the episode, and I'll drop the link in the
Yeah, put
chat.
the link in the chat.
She is amazing. And of course, you know, I love me some Kyra because she's also a teen mom. I'm not a teen mom. I know I keep saying that, but like it really resonates with me when y'all have children in your teenage years because I had my kids in my 20s and I still was like, what the heck was I doing?
I
You know what
was
I'm
in
saying?
my
Like,
20s too, girl. So I feel you, girl. I
listen,
mean,
and
yeah.
when my aunt asked me who told me I could have kids, I was like, I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what I was thinking. I got caught. I was just trying to
It's
play outside. Okay. And I ended up with a package. Okay. But
girl,
Kyra
stop.
Dodd is actually putting on an event called Charge Up Your Life, and I am
Where is it? Do you have the
supporting.
flyer? You can share your screen.
Well,
Where
hold
is
on,
it?
friend. Hold on, friend.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab it. Yes, let's talk about it.
Where is
So,
it at?
it's going to be in the DFW. It's going to be in Red Oak in Dallas.
Oh, it's in
Um,
Dallas.
and let me see if I can grab it because she has like the bomb flyer going right now. And one of the things that we're doing is a 2-day conference, and we are
Mhm.
going to actually have a party after the conference. Because you know that we can't have nothing and not have a party. Like I
It's
don't know why
true.
y'all didn't
I
know.
mean, really. I agree.
We got to
Everything's a
celebrate.
celebration.
Yeah, because you got
Everything's
to do it.
content. That's what I say.
Everything is come on. Everything is content. Everything is content. So I'm gonna drop. Let me grab the link, y'all. I'm gonna drop it in the chat. But one of the things that I appreciated and why I decided to come on board for that's too much. Hold on. Why I decided to come on board for the Charge Your Life and really help her get this message out is because I feel like we're always having plans but we're not executing it. So in the event we're talking personal credit on day 1, business
Mhm.
credit on day 2, and the people who purchase the actual tickets and come in, we're actually implementing all the things that we're doing. So it's not just giving you the
Mm,
information and you go off. Like it's a workroom. Like we're
I
literally
love that.
executing and we're doing funding for some people that come in. So the platinum VIP, they get their own session where if your business needs like a funnel built or a landing page built, like in that moment at that location, we're getting it done for you.
Oh, that's
Um,
good.
so to me, it to me it was very near and dear to me because I wanted to make sure. Listen, I'm trying to figure out how to share these screens. So hold on, y'all, because
Yeah, just push
I think I
present
pushed this and then
down
I'm
at the
gonna
bottom.
hit share screen.
Mhm.
Okay. Look, we gonna do this together.
Yeah, because people, some people are visual that are on here. Now, so do you need any sponsors or
We do.
any
We
yeah,
do. So
any
we need
donations,
sponsors.
door prizes and stuff?
What listen, we have a whole, and I'm gonna make sure that I drop the links, but we on it we have sponsorships available.
Mhm.
We have if you want to volunteer to be a part of the team that's putting things together, you can reach out to Kyra. And one of the speakers is Big Sexy. And if you guys are in the social media streets, you know his journey, and he actually just dropped his book. So I'm super duper excited that
Mm,
he's about to be a part of it as one of our celebrity guest speakers that are going to be on there. But we have vendors, so we are going to have a whole building that's going to be dedicated to our actual vendors.
mhm,
And our people, like when I say building a community matters, and this is why I was bringing that up, guys, is because um when we launched this, it was a soft launch. So like the
mhm,
website and everything is actually still in curation. We knew what the vision was. She knew what she wanted to get out there. And
mhm,
when she and I were getting together and talking about her showing up and showing out in Dallas, because that's now her new stomping grounds, right? She used to be in Central Texas with me. Her community showed up. And I'm talking
Mm.
about 50 tickets as soon as she opened the tickets. I'm
Oh,
talking
good.
about vendor tables, and we're having two different types of vendor tables, right? So
Mhm.
if you want to have the vendor table in the main room so that you can actually get the information and not just sell your products to people, but actually be in
Wow.
the room to get the information as well, we have a vendor slot for that as well. So
Mm.
it was amazing for me to be a part of helping her put that together. And that's going to be May 30th and 31st. Our
Okay.
our our masquerade, it's a black masquerade ball, is going to be that
Mm.
Friday. Okay. And we have breakout sessions. And when I say we're talking everything from real estate, securing your business, how we're having counselors to deal with your mindset and giving you actionable tools right then and there that you need to go ahead and launch to the next step. Like that is what we're doing in real time, right?
Oh, that is wonderful.
So y'all better lock in because I just want to let y'all know the tickets go up in March. So if
Okay.
y'all want to be there, and I will make sure to add the flyer. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but the flyer was shown, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys. Early bird
That's
ticket
yeah.
ends in March. So March, the pricing goes up to the standard pricing, but we do have vendor tables available. We have sponsorship packages that are going live because we want the businesses that really want to show up and support and be in the community. And right now, just to keep it 100, we have like 100 people already booked,
I love
right?
that. Another thing too is, do you have people that might want to be a part of your marketing campaign? They want to have you come on as guests, talking about the event. So if they
Mm.
want to do that, they can put their information in the
Please
chat.
put it in the chat because I will get Kyra to come because this Kyra
Yeah.
event, okay, I'm just her spokesperson, okay, so I'm the person that's gonna be there changing the wigs, okay, that's what
Yeah.
I'll be changing the wigs and MC and y'all acting fool. Just come,
Amen.
enjoy, learn, implement. If anyone that knows me, I don't know if you guys know, I'm big on implementation. And the reason why I'm
Yes.
so big on implementation is because I spent a lot of my life, first of all, I did not give myself grace that if it wasn't for me implementing the things that I was given,
Mhm.
gifted, and given, I would
Mhm.
not be where I am today. That was number one.
Mhm.
Number two, not realizing that if I don't take the time to learn and implement what I've learned, I'm not going to reach the goals that I have, right? And the reality is, even if I just get 1% better, I'm still ahead of the curve, right?
That's true.
So I am very, if y'all come into rooms with me, if I'm coaching with you, if I'm training with you, I don't even care if all I'm doing is just a quick little ding dang ding dong with you. Okay. I'm talking about what are you going to do after this call? Because what you're not going to do is be in my face and have a conversation with me and then leave and not execute what we talked about. Because I waste my breath with my children. Okay.
Yeah.
And they grown now. I don't even do it with them. I will send them
I
the
love
voicemail
it.
quick, fast, and in a hurry. Okay. So please be mindful, guys. Time, I'm not saying that time is not long because now when I think about it, I never saw myself at 40. Like in
Yeah.
my mind, I was rushing to get to 21 and I kind
It's
of
true.
stopped,
It's true,
right?
girl.
But
Mhm.
we don't have time to be playing with our time. And that's one thing
It's
you
true.
can never get back. I can get back, I can make more money. I can
Mhm.
I can get that loving feeling again. What I can't get back is 20 minutes that I lost from someone who's not going to implement and take action, right?
That's
So
true.
I value my time, I value yours, and that's why I do that. The event is on May 30th and 31st in Red Oak. It's at a venue called Hampton's venue Hampton's event venue in Red Oak. And it's on the 30th and the 31st. Looking at the flyer, the time is from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Yes, and the party, it is 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. day one. The party is actually starting, I think, at 9 o'clock. So we're also getting down with the get down.
Mhm.
So you definitely want to make sure you come with your good gala outfit because we are recording. This is all going to be content. I haven't decided if I want to if I like if this probably gonna be like a behind the scenes situation because the event is immaculate, the information is immaculate. And one of the things that I love about Kyra, and again, not just one that she's built a community, And I
Mhm.
love that because now she's teaching me, right, how
Mhm.
to build a community. You're teaching me how to build a community.
Mhm.
But number two is that she gets people in the industries that are actually executing. So like we're going to have
Amen.
a trader that's going to be there. This trader is making money. We're going to have a person that's talking about real estate and how to do fix and flip. They're making money and they're going to tell you no gatekeeping, no holding back. This
Love
is what you need. But one of the things that she took a step further was making sure that the items that were being sold at the vendor events was not like, oh, I'm going to sell you a $17,000 product. Like, no, because you came in, because you showed up, because you yield your time, we're going to make sure that we're pricing this to where you can leave if you're ready to execute today at a reasonable price, right?
Amen.
That is to me her whole mindset of making sure that your life is charged up because you're putting the pedal to the metal. I had
Mm.
to jump on board and let it be known. So y'all better watch out. Commercials are coming.
Love it. This
Like
is
we're doing.
good. This
Yes,
is good.
yes.
Now, so we could keep on going for hours, and I want to thank all of you guys that are watching and engaging in the chat, because just something like that makes a difference. So just as a real story, I got on, somebody was doing a live like this on LinkedIn, and I was just adding comments while they were talking. And someone reached out to me on LinkedIn and said, "Oh my gosh, the host of the show told me to reach out to you, that we could have a great conversation. We have a lot in common." So we got on a Zoom call. This just happened this week. And she's like, "We should have recorded this. Do you mind being on my show?" So that we can share this insight that you're sharing. And so this came from the comments. And I'll
Come
say
on,
this about
somebody.
Nikki because she was on earlier. Um, she made a comment on LinkedIn. I had an event that I had posted and she made a comment. So I said, "Well, would you like to come on and be a guest?" I said, because, we still have some spots. This is like 24 hours before the event. So
Mm-hmm.
she said, "Sure." So she sent me her headshot and everything. So I got her added to the flyer. She came on the show. And so afterwards, when we stopped recording, she was able to talk to one of the co hosts who invited her to be in the book that we were doing. So, like a month later, we're all international best-selling authors
Say
because
it
of a
again.
comment.
Say it again because the people in the chat
International
couldn't hear it.
best-selling authors
Mm-hmm.
because of a comment that she did on LinkedIn. So, I'm telling people when it comes to commenting, it's about your intention. Because if you're around people, and like you said, with implementation, those opportunities are going to come. And the only person stopping you from taking those opportunities is you, right? You
Mm-hmm.
just have to
Mm-hmm.
take action. And so, commenting is just as important. Showing up, whether it's a comment, whether it's being on camera, whether it's sharing or introducing somebody, it all matters.
I agree. And
Hmm.
don't feel like you can't do it, right? Like
Yeah.
the engagement that you guys have given us on, like we have comments coming in from YouTube, comments coming in from Facebook. We really appreciate the engagement. Let's be number one. Ooh, I forgot to say this and we 48 minutes in. I'm
Yeah.
sorry y'all. Like this if you guys, I don't care if you guys are watching on Facebook,
Hmm.
Instagram, LinkedIn, like I need y'all to go ahead and like our stuff because when you engage, so of course a like really does help, but when you leave a comment when someone is on Instagram or Facebook, what it does is it allows the algorithm to know that this information is useful, so it pushes that information out. And remember, we're feeding a monster, we're feeding a beast.
Hmm.
So we have to, if this is something that's valuable to you, if you know that other people can use it, definitely share it, right?
Hmm.
Like if this resonated with you, if the information that we said, if you want to be on LaChelle show, if you want to be on my show, if you want us to be on your show, please remember we come outside. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't come out often, but when I do, I show out. Okay. I show out. Okay.
I love it. I
We
love it.
come
And now,
outside.
how do
Let us know.
and is there a link if they want to be on this show with you?
You know what? I'm going to create one because I wasn't playing with y'all. Okay. Let me be honest. When I curate things in my head, I test it out to see like, does it work? How does it feel? So this casting conversation is for our network, for Zandra TV, guest or future guest
Mhm.
or TV personalities to come on and be able to kind of like talk and share their experience so that other people can feel open to it. So now that I know that y'all really like it, again, we're gonna look at the numbers.
Mhm.
We are going to the next casting couch that we have. I will go ahead and have a link. But Mama LaChelle, are you going to be doing the casting conversations too on your plate? Like, cause you can.
Girl,
Mm. Never mind, she in Clubhouse. She got too many meetings, y'all. So she like, Racquel, this your lead. I
look,
respect
I
that.
know. I look. I'll come and be a guest when you want me, girl. But I'm like, look, yeah,
I
I
like
told
that.
you. Look, I'm on TV now.
Listen, and see, when you get big time like Mama LaChelle over here, you can say no. Let me tell you something. No is a very powerful word. She said no. You saw how she gently delivered that no. It was with such je ne sais quoi about it, right? Like, Raquel,
Girl,
so you got a link for them to sign up? For y'all in the back, I'ma have a link so that y'all can sign up. So for the producers on the network, okay, I will
yes.
send the link out to you and for your guest if they want to be on it, because this I definitely love the experience and I love the guests to be able to promote their show that is about to air or that has already aired. So
Mhm.
I will create a form specifically for you, for the producers on Zandra TV, and then you guys can send that link out to your guests if they would like to come on as well, so that we
Mhm.
can, because my thing is we need to capture the small locations, and let's be clear, YouTube is not a small beast, right? It is not a
Mhm.
small beast. It is a big contender out here, but
Mhm.
we need to get everyone understanding that Zandra TV is where you need to be. Okay, if you're not on Zandra TV, if you're not showing up on over 100 plus streaming networks, if
Yes.
you're not in Africa, okay, what you doing?
True. It's true. I love that. And I do want to say one of the things about implementation, because this is really a good point with this show that we're having right now. It was organic, right? It's the whole thing about trying something and building the plane while you're flying. Sometimes you don't have all the information when you get started. You do it and you build as you go. So I do want to bring that up because we have a lot of people that's another thing. They're like, oh, I only know I want to get started with this one part. And because I don't know everything, I'm just not going to do anything. So I
Mm.
love that you took action. So tell everybody, what's a final word that you would like to leave us with today? Because I mean, we covered a lot of stuff, but what stands out?
Execute. Execute. Do
Yeah.
it scared. Do it
Mhm.
unknowing. I don't know what I'm doing. Let me be clear, just in case y'all are looking and y'all are saying, "Oh, Raquel." What Raquel knows is that I am good at showing up. And
Yeah.
when I show up, I meet God there. God doesn't meet me there.
Hmm.
I meet God there. And
Hmm.
whatever he has purposed for it to show up, and no, I'm not perfect. My goal
Hmm.
is to work towards perfection. That is it. I'm going to fall, I'm going to stumble, I'm going to make mistakes. Heck, one time you might come on here and I may not say the right thing for you as an individual. Listen, I'm a person. I'm going to
Hmm.
make mistakes, but I am going to execute, look at what the results have been, and then do it better. So, this
Hmm.
casting conversation is to motivate people to understand that your platform, your story, it actually matters. And we
Hmm.
want everyone to know about Zandra TV, about the network, about the show, and why we are all, as producers, decided to say yes to tell our story and bring people in it. So execute. It's going to be messy. Nothing is perfect. I
Hmm.
gave birth 4 times, and each time I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I thought I was professional. By number 2, I thought I was going
It's
together.
true.
I didn't, right? I'm in my
Yeah.
second marriage. I'm getting it right daily. That's
Hmm.
all we can really do is execute, learn from what we have made a mistake on, and then put those key pieces that we've learned into action and moving forward.
I love that. And that goes along with mine is, do it afraid, but you don't have to do it alone,
Come
right?
on,
I
somebody.
didn't even think, I was like, shoot, I'm so glad I have a network because I can have other producers that I can call if I want to do an event. Hey, what you doing? Let's get together and do this. So, just like this show. So, thank you so much, Raquel, for being the brainchild behind this and getting us
Thank
in this
you.
conversation. I really appreciate it, and it's been a lot of fun.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you for your yes. I appreciate that every time I come to you with a quirky, like y'all don't understand. I'll call mom. Okay, I call her mom, but I'll call her and be like, Mama LaChelle, I think I should do da da da. And she was like, okay, okay. Like, she was like, I can see it. I can see how you gonna make that happen. So the people need you. If you don't have a person in your circle that even if your idea is crazy, they
Hmm.
can't talk it out to you, find that person because that's what you need. Because the wildest dreams of someone is really you. Like who you are today,
Hmm.
someone has dreamt for you to have the access, the exposure, the knowledge that you have, right? So find
Hmm.
someone in your corner that even if they don't know how to execute it, they'll help you figure it out. So this is a test run. We're seeing how this goes. I definitely want all the producers on the network to come on and I want them to take their own casting conversations, right? And build
Hmm.
that out as well the way that they see fit, right? I'm just here
Hmm.
giving ideas and executing it. So I appreciate you for your yes. What do you have coming? You already asked me what I have coming up next. What do you have coming up next?
Yeah, I'm just really trying to get my footing in February. I have some birthdays. My husband's birthday's this month, as well as our youngest daughter. She's going to be 11. But I have a new person who joined my network for Keep It Real TV. So I have another micro network contributor. So I'm excited. And we are planning her launch, which will be March 15th.
What? That
So I'll
quick?
be yeah, she's
You
like
have to
ready
give
to
me
go.
time. I gotta buy hair and shoes and everything. You just gonna pop this on me? Okay,
Yeah, so
when you gonna
she's
be in
actually
ATL or with us?
actually it's going to be virtual. She's going to do a virtual because she's not where I'm at. But again, she's a micro network contributor. So I tell people, if you have a community, if you have a platform where you're already sharing your insight, you can take that content and start monetizing it by, selling commercials and taking that content from off of YouTube or Facebook and putting it on the network and getting back
Mm,
bigger distribution. So that's really what she's doing. She's going to be putting some of her episodes up, and then she's going to actually be creating more content. So this
that's
way
so
she's able
cool.
to monetize that. So yeah, I'm excited. So yeah, that's what I've got going on.
I
Training and
love
getting things up
it.
and running.
I love it. And if y'all don't know, Miss LaChelle Adkins, is it Miss or Mrs.? You know, I don't know. I'm
Mrs.
from the Caribbean. It's the same thing.
Mrs.
She she is an amazing marketing coach that I have been able to partner with. And
Mhm.
one of the things that I've had the pleasure to see is like, I've taken your tips that you just dropped, the nugget, and implemented it and had results, right?
Mhm.
One of the things that I want to talk about is like in our producers meeting. So for y'all who
Yeah.
have TV shows and want to be on the network, I want to like take a minute before I let y'all go and talk about real time execution and what that looks like. And I'm going to see if I can pull it up while we're here. If not, I'll drop it in like the YouTube slide so y'all can see. But
Mhm.
we had a producers meeting, and one of the things that you talked about, LaChelle, was taking the Black history information, turning into a newsletter and
Mhm.
posting it. And I want to let you know that that post that I did off of what you suggested got me the highest impressions that I've had in the last 30 days on LinkedIn alone. Number one. Number two, I got 17 inboxes of
Wow.
direct conversation off of that literal engagement. So all I did was take what you said, put my little, juju's on it and
Mhm.
say, this is Raquel's touch. And I executed what was provided and I got results. Right now,
Oh,
that result could flip over and turn into a rate of return where it's monetization, but
Mhm.
my original goal was to see what would my impressions look like, right? So I have stages that I'm trying to accomplish so I can see what my growth is. And
Mhm.
I wanted to come back in real time and let you know, like, I
I
took
love
what
that.
you said, I implemented it, and it's my highest engagement on
Girl,
not just like
my head's gonna be too big for the screen. No.
as you should. As you should. Okay. So when I say that, you have to get with people who are
Yeah.
not just going to give you the information, but people are going to implement it. And I wanted to come back and let you know. And I was going to save it
Mhm.
for the next one, but I was like, wait, I know you. Like, we're talking. Like, let me tell
I
you.
love that. Well, thanks so much for that, Raquel. I
You're
mean,
welcome.
seriously, it takes a village. We all learn this together. So I appreciate that.
It is
And,
my pleasure.
your success is our success because we was on your TV network, girl.
Come on, somebody.
Hmm.
I'm gonna get the banner so that it can say all the things on it, because I'm not good at that. Let's just be clear. I'm not. I'm good at what I'm good at, and I let everybody else do what they good at. Okay, so the next time we
Exactly.
come on Casting Conversations, we will make sure we have the banners so y'all know where to see us. I'm also
Yes.
going to make sure. So just to let you guys know, LaChelle is going to get me a commercial, and I'm saying this in front of y'all so that she'll actually get it to me. Because if I say it offline, she'll get it to me. But I promise you, it's not going to be as quick as I want it. So she's going to get me a commercial so that
Amen.
I can run it when we are having casting conversations. And that is something that is very impactful because I want to make sure that our messaging, our images, all of our stuff is out there and
Yes.
you guys know how to follow us. So if y'all are not able to see, she does have the QR code on the side. I will go ahead and get the link as well so we can
Hmm.
drop it in the YouTube and the Facebook links and the all of the places that we're at so you
Hmm.
guys get an opportunity to see us. But I want to say thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for taking
Oh.
lead and giving me an hour of your time.
Well, I appreciate it. This has really been fun. So, one thing I will say is let them know the name of your show and where they can watch it.
Yes, child. So the link is in the chat because I'm serious about y'all watching my show. Okay. It is called Breaking Barriers. Okay. My TV show is aimed at telling true stories of what success looks like to everyday people. And I'm talking about we have millionaires that came on,
Mhm.
and we have stories that will literally change the way that you're looking at yourself as an entrepreneur or as a person in business. So if y'all are wanting to see the episodes, the link is in the chat. I want you guys to dip and do so that you guys can check. Also, the link if you want to be a guest on the show is also in the chat because we want to make sure that you have accessibility to it. So be
Yep.
intentional. Come be with me on my show. Get the visibility you need, honey. Okay.
Yes.
But thank you guys for your yeses of watching today and engaging. Nicole, um, I'm gonna mess up that name, but I'm gonna say thank you so much for coming, Miss E. I
Mhm.
appreciate you.
Mhm.
Pastor, we appreciate you coming in and we cannot
Mhm.
wait to see you. I definitely would love to have you on the casting couch so we can talk about your experience and your exposure throughout the process. Otherwise, guys, be intentional, be great on purpose. Know that you guys are
Mhm.
more than your experiences and your lessons can be a blessing for someone else. See y'all
Love
later.
that. Bye, everybody.
Bye.